You got nothing to offer, bro. You know? And I'm gonna keep it real with you, because I know you know this already. You have nothing to offer a female when you're in your 20s. You have no life experience. You have no data. You have no network. And the most important, right? It's not even about how much money you probably have or someone giving to you, right? You have no cash flow. And that falls underneath not having data. In your 20s, these are the steps that you need to be making. You need to find what you find passionate about, right? Because majority of you guys in your 20s, you didn't have the opportunity to find your passion. Whether you've left school, you've gone straight to university or college, or something that you just had to, keep yourself occupied on. So it was very hard for you to find your passion. You have those space to do that in your 20s. Early 20s, late 20s, you have the space to do that, right? To find something that you have a sense of calling for and to work on it, to master the craft in it. Those are the type of things you should be focused on in your 20s. Being in a relationship in your 20s is actually one of the most biggest distractions you can ever come across, bro. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be your big bro. If you don't have one, I'm going to be your big bro. I'm going to tell you. It's the biggest distraction you can ever encounter in your 20s. Because you're going to waste so much time trying to make this woman happy. You understand? And you can't do that. Because in your 20s, you're not matured enough to have that kind of emotional intelligence to know that you can't make no one else happy in this world apart from yourself. So that reverses as well to man and female. You have to be able to work on yourself, yeah, to make yourself happy as a man, especially in your 20s, bro. You got to remember at the end of the day, the world is counting on you for you to be the man that you're supposed to be. If you, right, put a woman before your needs, right, you're only going to feel it when you get to your mid-30s, early 30s. You're going to feel it. And then when you get to your 30s, you're going to realize there's something inside of you that's actually dying. And you need to bring it back alive, right? So then you're going to start looking at the woman that you're with as, man, you're holding me back. Then you're going to start hating on that woman. You're going to start envying that woman. And it's not even her fault, because that's her nature. Her nature is to depend on you to be the solo provider, to be strong, you know what I mean? To have the answers, right? But in your 20s, you don't have the answers because you don't have the experience. You don't have the data. So you can't even lead her. So it's not her fault that you can't lead her. And another thing as well, being in your 20s and chasing Nyash, because that's exactly what you're doing. You're chasing Nyash. You feel me? You're not focused on what's more important. Because you see, when you're focused on what's more important, right, what you're going to do, right, you're going to, by default, you're going to be experienced in failing and getting back up. You're going to understand how the world works. You're going to understand how to take accountabilities for every action that you've made in this world, bro. Right? You're going to understand what works for you and what don't work for you. All of these things that you're going through in your 20s, when you're not in a relationship, you're gathering data. You're going to understand that when you do this job, it's not something that your heart's in until when you do this job, you feel like you have more of a purpose, something to offer, right? You're going to find all of these things, all of these data you're going to gather in your 20s, right? And then when you get close to your 30s now, you can understand where you're going in life. You have a focus of, okay, this is what I'm going in life. And now you can start working on your private life. And that's when you go and dating, figuring out what type of female can fit into that program with what you got going on. When you don't have a program, there's nothing for a girl to follow, bro. This is why some of you lot, when you lot hit a certain age, you're broken men. You know, you're broken men. You're going to start blaming it on the females. It's got nothing to do with the females. You got to remember, a 21-year-old woman and a 21-year-old man are not the same. That 21-year-old woman, she's way more advanced than that 21-year-old man. She's actually 10 years advanced. Remember this. When females are young, right, they already have this nurturingness built inside of them. Hence the reason why when you see them playing with doll, they're getting prepared to be your mother, right? Well, some women, should I say, right, are getting prepared to be your mother. So they already know what they want, right? As a young man, you don't even know what you want, right? You are just, just lost. We've all been there, I've been there, just lost, just drifting, easily manipulated, And that's what happens when you're a young man, right? But at some point, when life beats the hell out of you, you're going to want to rise up and say, no more beating. And then that can start when you're around 25 or even upwards, right? And that's when your emotion starts to kick in. A woman, life don't beat women as how life will beat men. They're always going to get, saved, should I say. There's no such thing as a homeless woman. Have you ever seen a homeless woman in the streets before? Or unless they actually willingly put themselves there. You hardly see that. But when you look in the streets, you're going to see hella homeless men out here, bro. Trust me. Why? Because the world don't give a fuck about you, bro. They don't care about you because they look at you as a man. You're built for this. So if you're in a relationship right now in your 20s, right? You need to say to whoever that you're with that I love you enough to let you go because I don't think I can lead you the way I'm supposed to lead you. And if she's there when you do conquer whatever mission you're supposed to conquer, when you get to the top of the mountain and she's there and she's just been supporting you, waiting, then yeah, you take her along. But the door needs to be always open for her to go as she please. But never take them back if they come back though. They leave and they go, don't ever take them back. But what I'm saying to you in your 20s, bro, the biggest mistake that you lot are making, you lot are robbing from your future when you're in long-term relationship with some of these females out here. You lot are spending money on dinner dates. You lot are doing all these Valentine's things where you should be using that money to invest in your craft, to invest in yourself so you can be the best version of yourself in your 30s. So it's easy for you to lead a woman and also it's easy for you to have a family as well, right? When you're not, in that frame of mind, right? And you're easily manipulated, because in your 20s, you're going to be very, very easily manipulated by a female. Your hormones levels are high. You always want to bust a nut. Your hormones levels are always going to be high, right? But you need to actually divert that to something that's going to benefit you in the future. You got to remember, listen to this, yeah? I remember when I first started up my first business, I was very young, bro. I had no choice but to grow the fuck up, guys. Fellas, bro, I had to grow up, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. And the good thing that made me grow up because I was making money. So I was addicted to making money. So I was just like, okay, cool. I'm addicted to making money anyway, but this is kind of making me mature because I have to make sure that I'm always here pulling up, working 7 days a week. I still work 7 days a week. It just becomes a lifestyle where I work 7 days a week, but I can always have time to do things that I need to do, right? For the people that I care about. I still get back to the money, right? But in my 20s, I noticed something that when I was shielded by the business that I started, right? Because of the money, right? I noticed there was a lot of people that my age that loved enjoyment. They used to fly out to so many places of the world, Mandem holiday, group holiday. Not that I'm saying there's nothing wrong with that, but it was like a thing. Every Friday, there was always a motive they had to get themselves into. And I was a person that was making them look sharp for the motive. Because if you guys know, you already know I'm a barber, right? And I started this at 23, should I say. I'm actually 36 now. So that's like, we got like 14 years in this industry. But let me not digress. So I noticed that all these guys was having fun. And I used to get really, bro, I'll be honest with you guys. I was pissed off, bro. I was pissed off. I had a whole shop to myself. I had staff members and whatnot. I was quite young at the time. Now I look at it, I'll be like, yo, that's one of the biggest blessings I've ever had in my life because it made me the person that I am to today. But I'm not going to lie to you, I was very pissed off, bro, because I felt like I was missing out fun times of my youth, right? And as time went on, I just came into this realization that, fuck it, man, like, you know what, like, I might just have to just sacrifice this 20 because it doesn't look like I can go anywhere from now because this business actually needs me. But as time went on, I got a bit older. I was very proud of myself that I took that risk because now I can do the things that I love to do and still be making money off that and potentially start making money off the things that I love to do after that, right? So then I've said to myself, I was like, oh, wow, okay, cool. Like, now that I sacrificed my 20s, I can actually live the way I want to live in my 30s. And 30s is the new 20s because now I don't have to, cat to say I want to go there because I really don't have no interest to go to those places I wanted to go when I was in my 20s. So it actually worked out for me. And when I reverse it now, when I see those other guys that was enjoying all the time, when you see them in their 30s now, right, they're tired as hell. some of them is going to have to settle. And fellas, I want to say something to you. When you have to settle with a woman, right, that you don't want to be with, bro, you are living in hell. And that tends to happen to people that wasted their youth, that did not sacrifice their 20s, bro. I'm telling you like this. I don't have to tell you like this. I'm going to tell you like this because I see it every single day, bro. You know, a lot of the time, even in your 20s, for instance, you can never be lonely in your 20s. You know, you're a young man. There's nothing for you to be lonely about. In your 30s, you have more chance of being lonely in your 30s if you haven't patterned up. But in your 20s, you can never be lonely. You know what? That's actually your unique selling point. Because when you're about it in your 20s, people will see that and be like, wow, that's a very ambitious young man. I would like to invest into him. You have to use your youth as one of your biggest assets. Because when you get older and you're still moving like a young G in your 30s or 40s, a lot of men like myself will see past through them and be like, man, this guy looked like he missed the train. Men can hit the wall as well, guys. Not just women, bro. And I'm talking, this is just for men only, right? Men can also hit the wall mentally. Can hit the wall where life has beat them down so much they feel like they can't achieve nothing, and then you see them just running around the street drifting. Those are men that's hit the wall when they have no purpose, they don't know how to lead, they don't know how to be organized, they have no structure. They can hit the wall, and these can happen to you if you don't sacrifice your 20, if you don't find out what you need to do to be the best version of yourself. Let me tell you another thing as well, right? It's okay to be eating shit right now. It's okay. In your 20s, bro, you just gotta wait your turn. It's okay to be riding that banger car that you don't really like and you're thinking, when can I upgrade? Bro, it's fine. No one cares. No one cares as much as you think they care. You know, social media is a bitch right now. You know, making you feel like you gotta, you know, be 0 to 100 real quick. And you're only 24, 23, 25 if best. And you putting all this pressure on yourself, not looking at when you're going to be 35. Where do you want to be at 35, 36, 40? So at some point, you got to have to just say, you know what? Let everyone have their fun. I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to fug it out. You guys need to learn how to fug it out, man. Trust me. And another thing happens, right? And I want you lot to be aware of this, right? So now, if you sacrifice your 20s, yeah, and you get to where you need to get to in life in your 30s, those friends that you have around you that didn't do the same sacrifice as you did, you need to learn how to let them go. Love them from far. You can't take them with you. Majority of the time, especially a lot of black dudes, you like to take friends that ain't done shit with you because you don't want to look quote unquote fake. You gotta let them go, bro. Trust me. They're gonna fuck up the bag. They're gonna hate on you. They're gonna be envy. You know why? Because for you to take those sacrifices to put into work and to achieve what you need to achieve in your early age and 30s, right? They're going to hate on you because they didn't do the same thing. You got to let them go. If you don't let them go, they're going to become like cancer and they are going to ruin your life. Trust me. You're going to get stabbed in your back. So make sure your cut-off game is strong when you get to that hill. Very important. And that goes to family as well, right? But for now, make sure that when you're putting in your work, remember all these things I'm saying to you. At some point, when you put in the work in your 20s, and then when you get to an age where you look back and say, you know what, I'm happy I did that, you know. You're going to have a lot of people that's going to be hating on you. They're going to be jealous of you. You know why? Because it's hard for you to sacrifice those 20s that you're in. There's too much motives, man. I get it. There's too much apartment parties. There's too much Afro Nation, you know, all over the world that you feel like you got to link up with. There's too much Mandem group chat where you got, you know, participated in Mandem holidays and whatnot. There's a hell of that. I get it, bro. You feel me? I understand, bro. Trust me, I've seen it. I went through that stage. I lost a lot of friends because I had to choose the business first. And I'm glad I chose the business first. But that's what I'm telling you guys here, bro. You want to get to an age where you can talk that shit and not feel no way of hurting no one's feelings because you know what you did to get yourself in that situation. You know? There's some people on the internet right now that's trying to skip the process, right? They're trying to skip the process and they're trying to make it look like they're putting in work. And it's so easy to break them. You can tell it's easy to break them. Niggas be getting broke all the time on the internet. Why? Because they don't have that thick skin. They never put the work in that you guys are going to put in. And that's another magical thing that happens to you when you put in the work in from when you're 20s. Your skin is thick enough because you can be like, do you know what the shit I went through to get here? You can be able to say that. You have that strength within your core to say that. But then when you don't do that, and you get to your 20s, it's easy for a woman to break you. Bow. It's easy for society to break you. Bow. The government to break you. Bow. People that looks just like you to break you. Bow. But when you put in that work in, no one can't break you but yourself. So guys, let me tell you now, right? You gotta sacrifice this age that you're at right now. It's one of the most beautiful age, being in your 20s, late 20s, you know. Even when you're in your late 20s, you should really know the direction that you're going in life. You feel what I'm saying to you? You shouldn't be taking the lust mentality into your 30s. You should really know where you want to be in your late 20s. But your early 20s, it's one of the most beautiful years. But I'm sorry to tell you that, even though it's one of those beautiful years of enjoyments, of great memories that you would like to experience with friends and fun, you have to sacrifice that, my boy. Sacrifice that. For females, it's different. They don't need to sacrifice the 20. You know why? Because there's someone that's putting the work in their 20s, that's got to the 30s, that's going to just scoop the girls in the 20s and say, yeah, I'm going to make a wife out of you. You're going to make some kids, some babies from me, and you're going to follow my lead. Those are those 30 niggas that can do that. You lot in your 20s can't compare to the man them in the 30s that's putting the work. So I say that to you lot right now, right? You can choose to listen. You know, you can, you know, be watching this right now. You can be laying down with your babe thinking, yo, what's this guy talking about? But trust me, bro, the time will come where when you hit your 30s and you don't have enough data to keep you afloat, you're going to wish you sacrificed the age that you're in right now. Just say.